Hi and welcome for those coming on to watch the webinar live or watch it on the replay. I'm happy to have you. Excited to share with you today some different tips and tricks and all kinds of things to focus your business a little bit more on referral marketing. It's a great and easy way to grow business without a lot of cost. Takes some time and some effort, but is a little bit simpler than some of the other marketing channels that exist out there. I appreciate you taking the time. When you jump on, make sure you go into the chat box, and if you're live, share a little bit more about what you do so that as everybody comes on, they get the opportunity to chit chat with each other, and I can do a little bit more specific examples based upon who is live with me as we're going. But I try to be as respectful as possible with your time. So we'll get started and start going through all kinds of different information to get you moving with referral marketing. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shannon Tarrant. I own a local wedding venue resource here in Central Florida called the Wedding Venue Map. It lists all 360 wedding venues and has lists of vendors, helpful tips for brides and grooms. We publish real events, share information, and really focus on helping couples find great local vendors. I also do a ton of small business consulting, such as things like these webinars and one-on-one sales trainings under my other brand, which is the Shannon Experience. If you haven't had the opportunity to follow me yet, please make sure you do. Each Monday, I do a Monday morning live on the Shannon Experience, giving tips and tricks and all kinds of things. This month, we are focused on goal setting. You can always go back and watch them. If you're not a Monday morning person like I am, you can watch them at any point because I just post them live on the Shannon Experience page. So what are we focusing on today? Why you should care about referrals. The data behind referral marketing. I always like to know some of the numbers. Overcoming the biggest obstacles, the how, the when, the why, a system to make it easier, the right way to ask, and understanding the give and take that comes from referrals. So why referrals? One of the most interesting things in, doing a little bit more on the data side to get some stats and information for you was that there's actually an association called the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. Word of mouth marketing is like one of the oldest forms of all marketing, and sometimes we forget to include it as a part of our actual plan. But one of their statistics that was really interesting said that every day in the United States, there are approximately 2.4 billion brand-related conversations. So that's 2.4 billion times a day somebody is talking about a brand. So the real conversation is, why shouldn't they be talking about your brand? You see, we make referrals really naturally because everyone wins. If I go and have a great experience with a company or a brand or a service and I really enjoyed it, and then I tell someone else and they have a positive experience with it, at the end of the day, we all win. The company wins because they get the business. My friend is happy with me because I referred them somebody good and I had a good experience. And my friend is happy. So it's a win-win-win-win-win. Sometimes we think and assume that if people have a great experience, then they're going to run and tell everybody about it, but sadly they don't. And, customers aren't really focused on getting you more customers. So that's why we have to focus a little bit more on the marketing side of referrals. So there's a few really good, why you should be focusing on this, especially with the upcoming new year coming and making plans for next year. One of them is precision targeting. Referrals are so much more targeted because they know their friends and their social article. It allows your brand message to spread a lot more effectively than most other marketing channels. Most of the things we do, from advertising to social media posts, email marketing, we're always going after our, ideal client. But how do you really precision target them to find that exact person? Well, referrals are the easiest way to do it because people know their people. If I have a great experience with, a band that Kimmy represents, then I'm going to tell other people about it, but I'm really going to push and share and push the referral on people that I think would also enjoy that type of music or, that kind of experience. There's a trust factor. Trust goes a long way when it comes to convincing someone to buy something. If we don't trust someone, we usually don't really listen to them. Think about the last time a salesperson that you know is on commission tried to sell you something. Once I went to go buy a couch, and furniture people are like straight commission. It's pretty aggressive when you walk into a furniture store. Somebody's on you in like 2 seconds. And they're going on and on about why you should upgrade the fabric and do this and do that and all of those things. Well, I'm more likely to listen if my friend who has that couch, who upgraded the fabric, really liked it and thought it was important, than the salesperson I know is making money off of it. You're more likely to doubt the authenticity when it's somebody who's a salesperson versus when the sales pitch comes from someone that you either know well or someone you have trust in. The trust applies to more than just people. Sometimes it's about the source of the information. So, the news, consumer reports, customer reviews, testimonials, experts, influencers. So the trust factor applies in a lot of different ways, not just only with people but from other, where the information came from. Referred customers are less likely to leave. Like a lot of times they tend to be more loyal in terms of like the lifetime of them being your customer. And on average, there's 25% higher profit margins. This is for a few different reasons. One, it's an easier upsell. So if they come in purchasing one thing, a lot of times they'll buy more than that one thing because you already have that trust factor. So they're more likely to take your advice, not just like an upsell that they don't need, but if you know that what they need is a bigger and better package, they are more likely to, trust that you're there to help them. The thing you want to keep in mind too is that the average customer that you work with or vendor or other businesses that you work with, their reach is much further than you probably know. People have really strong social followings. It can be super duper enormous. God, knowing I have 4,500 friends on Facebook. I don't really know who all of them are. I know I shouldn't say that, but it's true. So, but my reach is huge. So my network is wide and large. So when somebody says to me, hey, I really need somebody to do small business accounting, and do you know anybody local? Well, I don't, but I'll post and see who replies and then send over the people that I trust, their recommendations to the person who asked me. So remember that consumers have the power to make or break businesses by what they say about it online. We've all seen this happen, right? So why wouldn't you use that to your advantage when it comes to getting referrals? Some interesting stats: 83% of satisfied customers are willing to refer products and services, so they're willing to do it. The study shows that they're happy to do it, but only 29% actually do. And that was part of that conversation that says, we expect them to do it for our business, but it's not really, their front of mind is not thinking about you growing your business or your referral base. Another interesting one was referrals influence up to 50% of all purchasing decisions. And this is from McKinsey. McKinsey is an amazing sales and marketing resource company that does a lot of studies to gather a lot of data. But think about the last time you bought something. I'm going to go as simple as the fact this morning I was buying cat treats online. So the vet prescribed me like a certain kind of cat treat that would be good for immune boosting for my cats because they've been sick lately. So I go online and Google the type of cat treat. Well, there's like 8 different brands. Well, I go in and start reading the reviews. First, I look at how many stars they have. Remember, reviews count as a referral. So I looked at the 3 different brands the vet told me are the top 3. Those were in the 9. So I already narrowed it down to those 3. Then I went in and read the reviews. But I let that kind of referral influence the purchasing decision. There's probably a million different companies that make these types of treats. But this is how people buy every day. And it's 50% of all purchasing decisions are really coming from some type of referral. Those numbers were higher than I thought they would be. So it really makes sense to invest in referral marketing. So what does this term actually really mean? What is referral marketing? It's deliberately encouraging your customers to tell their friends about you. That's like the most basic way you can put it. You have to get over the fear of the asking, because most people really like to help other people as long as there's no negative cost to them. So if it doesn't take too much time, they're happy to help other people. If it doesn't take too much effort. The worst that can happen is the person you ask for the referral says no, or they say yes and then they don't do it. I mean, that's really all you've got to lose is when you make the effort of asking. But it's really just encouraging people who've had a great experience with you or your business to tell their friends about you. So how do you use and implement it? Okay, now you get what it means, but what are you supposed to do with it? Everything when it comes to referral marketing really starts with providing an exceptional customer experience. The core of all referrals is a great product or great customer service and a great overall buying experience. Because if it isn't something that's over the top or doesn't have that wow factor or wow product, people aren't going to really talk about it. So I went to go get an oil change the other day. It's like a local place up here in Altamont. Shame on me for not remembering the name, but I know where it is. And I'm a drive in, drive out. Like I like to stay in the car and be there while they're doing it, not go to the dealership because it takes too long. So I'm sitting in the car and I pull up and it was warm outside, roll down the window, what do you need? What are we doing? All that good stuff. And then he said, would you like a bottle of water? And I looked down and I'm like, I would like a bottle of water. So I take the bottle of water. And so I had left the window down. He said, oh, you might want to roll the window up. They're working on something over there. It doesn't really smell super pleasant. So I roll up the window. So he comes back and is like, listen, it was an over the top for a freaking oil change. It was an over the top experience. I will probably go back there for the next oil change. I mean, I know I will, as long as I still live in the area because I like to move a lot. But as long as I'm in the area, I will go back there. If somebody locally asked me, where should I go to get an oil change? I would give them directions to this location because it was over the top. No one's ever offered me anything, not water, not nothing other than upgrading me and me spending more money while they work on my car. So it was definitely the over the top experience. So you really need to look at what do you do? What do you offer? What does that look like? That you're creating this wow. Because if there isn't a wow and it's just kind of what's expected, then it's rare that people are going to go talk about you and they're going to want to give the referral. You have to pay attention to the analytics. This is super important because if you're not doing this already, it's something important to get into the habit of doing, is going in and looking at where your business is coming from. You're probably already getting referrals and you don't even know it. If you're not going in and checking your Google Analytics like monthly, there's a whole section in there on referrals to your website, and it could help you pinpoint other sites that are linking and referring people to you. I do some work with a local photographer, and blogging is not something they were doing in the past. Kind of gave them a plan, showed them how to do it, kind of the quick and easy way. And in the last 2 months, we did that about 6 months ago. So they've been blogging consistently, every event, every wedding, every time, going back and blogging things from the past. And one of the things that they found is some of their vendor partners were calling them and saying, thank you so much. You've been driving a lot of traffic to our site. So the client called me and said, what does that mean and how do they know? And I said, well, they're checking their Google Analytics. They're seeing that your website is driving business to their website. So it's like you're referring them. So you really need to pay attention. It's important to be asking your customers, how did they find you? Because sometimes there's a lot of touch points before they get there, but most of the time when it's a referral, they remember who said your name, who mentioned you. So you want to know so that you can track it. If you're not doing it now, you need to start before you start any kind of big campaign to go after referrals, because it doesn't really work if you're not giving people credit where credit is due. So you need to make your products and product experience shareable. So what does that mean? Well, we live in the world of social media. There's Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and stories and email blasts and all kinds of good things, right? But if what you're providing isn't really a shareable opportunity, if they don't know what your hashtags are or what your tags are to be able to tag your business and they're not following your business already, or you're not connected with them on social media, You know, have you ever gotten a package in the mail and when you opened it, it was like wrapped so pretty and tissue paper and it had a little sticker on it, that a branded sticker, and you open it up? Or I don't know if anybody else does Dollar Shave Club, but we do at our house. And, you know, the razors come, and every month it comes with this like hysterical little like booklet of reading that is silly and it's funny and it's like meant to be bathroom reading. But it's that it's a shareable experience. Like, you get it, you laugh, you want to take pictures of it. And I mean, now we get it every month, so it's a little bit different. But first time you get it, it's like, wow, that's fun. That's cool. It's something kind of different. It makes me laugh a little bit. So what about what services or products you're providing become shareable moments? Are you doing something over the top? I know Whitney does, she's on here, she does golf cart rentals. You know, are you doing something different? If it's a corporate company, are you putting their branding or their logo in vinyl on the golf cart so that they want to take pictures of it and post it and tag you? Consider the packaging that you provide people things, the unboxing experience. If you send people a client booking gift, I see Kara on here with Embrace by Kara, and, you know, do you send people a booking gift? Is it a cute, funny card? Like something that makes for a great photo to share on Instagram and other social networks. That is also referral marketing because they're sharing and tagging and, you know, growing the circle. You want to engage your loyal customers. Don't expect customers to always be thinking about you. One of the biggest mistakes companies make with referral marketing is assuming that the customers always have your brand on their top of mind, because they don't. So you need to constantly be looking for opportunities to engage your most loyal customers. You know, if you're not, you're missing a huge opportunity to encourage and incentivize conversations about the products or services. So how are you engaging the loyal customers that you already have? You know, if you're going to ask for referrals from them, you can't like forget about them. So Kimmy does booking for bands and music and entertainment, like the clubs and the venues and the places that book you often. How are you constantly touching base with them? You know, are you sending out, you know, new bands and new music or new videos when you get it? Are you doing an email newsletter? Do you send holiday cards? Kara does wedding photography, like, and, you know, portraits and things like that. Are you sending out cards for the holidays or for their anniversaries, you know, to previous brides? But you want to engage those people because the loyal customers are the ones you're going to want to ask. We'll get to the how in a little bit, but those are the ones you're going to want to ask first for the referrals. And if you haven't engaged them, they enjoyed working with you, they loved it. If you haven't engaged them in a while, how do you really ask for a referral? So remembering to find a way, an email newsletter every month, you know, maybe Kimmy, you could shoot out a video every month of one of your bands and things like that for people to listen to a song, and there's like a theme every month that's 80s day or, you know, whatever, and some kind of something to make it fun that I want to open it and listen to it month after month after month. But when you engage your loyal customers, it's easier to ask them for referrals. Make it really easy for visitors, customers, vendor partners to refer your brand. So you always want to make sure that, you know, you've got calls to action for the referral. Give them your social media tags to handle, like put them in the signature, put them on your website. You know, you want them to be, there's no doubt that referring friends is important to you. So you want to make it easy. Sometimes this means you create a hashtag that they can tag and post and share on, or you have email templates that can ensure that these ambassadors of your business use the right language, or if they send them to the right part of your website. Maybe you have a landing page you want to go to. I have a client that I work with up in Connecticut, and she sends out all of her, she sends everybody to a landing page. So when you're sending a referral, it talks a little bit about her business. It's got a few different reviews and then a contact at the bottom to find out more. It's a pretty simple landing page, but that way she can track in her Google Analytics how many people are actually sending people specifically there as a referral. Which is great. So just make it really easy. I know that, like, I have one or two advertisers that said, I really want to talk more to my couples about how to find a great venue? Can you share some tips and give me the link where you want me to send them to? Instead of to the home page, I always direct people right to the venue search. Or I tell them, if you find a new venue, send them to the link, the add your venue link, because it makes you look really good as a vendor. They were like, well, what do I say? So I kind of pre-wrote it and sent it over to them, and then they use it. So that's great referral for me, right? They're sending clients and people to the site. So, but I'm happy to write the verbiage for them. So just make it really easy for people to refer you. Implement a referral program. This can be great. It can be complicated, but I definitely didn't want to not talk about it. There are, depending upon the type of business and company you have, there are apps and things like that to do tracking. But sometimes people just need a nudge. Providing rewards for referrals can be just the thing to get customers and vendor partners sharing your brand with their friends and family. This could be a discount saying, you get 10%, that you both get 10% off, if for booking and referral. But you have to think really clearly what is a meaningful incentive for both the advocate and the friend that they're referring. You have to find a system way to track it. A local rental company that I work with, we implemented a system for different percentages off based upon how much business came in each year. So I don't remember the numbers, I'm making it up. But let's say you refer them $5,000 in business a year in terms of rentals, other people coming in, then your clients get 10% off. If you did 15,000 or more, you got 15% off. If you did 50,000 or more, you got 20% off. Well, by creating a program for this, it motivates the vendors and venues who are referring to do it more often, because then they look better and maybe get more off for their client. There's also another way to do this is there's a company called Upserve, and they have restaurant management software. I've used them with a few different small business, local restaurants and bars and stuff that I've worked with. They have an interesting twist. And when a current customer refers a friend and the friend signs up, the company donates $200 to the Clean Water Fund. That's their charity of choice, and that's where they send the money off to, versus kind of the kickback to the referrer. So it's really there's a lot of different ways to do the referral program. That maybe takes a little bit less tracking because you're just making a donation to charity. So you just have to figure out what's really going to work for you, but it has to be a meaningful incentive for both sides, both the person referring and the referee on the other side. You should really focus on capitalizing on influencers. So influencer marketing is this whole new fascinating thing. The best way I can explain it is, I'm going to date myself a little bit and go back 10 years. When I first started in the wedding industry, the knot.com had these amazing message boards, very similar to today's Facebook groups, right? So there was always one or two brides that were the moderators on the board. They controlled the post, the comments, and things like that. So vendors could see them because it was public, but you weren't allowed to post. That was the rules. If you posted, the moderators would remove you. Well, they would remove your post. Really the same thing as today's Facebook groups, right? Same idea. Well, once I had this bride who came, and when I worked at a catering company, and she came in, she had this amazing design. Her wedding was going to be stunning and over the top and beautiful. She was on a little bit tighter of a budget than I would have been comfortable with, and she wanted the world, champagne dreams on a beer budget, and came in, and as we were talking, she mentioned that she was the moderator on the knot board. Well, all the time on these boards, somebody was asking for recommendations for catering, and I was a caterer. So I struck a deal with her, and I said, if you decide to book us, I'll upgrade and give you the dessert display complimentary, and upgrade the beef into a carving station for you if every time somebody says, I need a caterer, you respond and you recommend us. I mean, at the time, there really wasn't a term for this, and nowadays this is called influencer marketing. So she did it for 18 months because she was engaged for a long time. This was the old days when they planned much further out. But she did it. She went on, and every single time somebody said, I need a caterer, she was like, call Shannon in a big city, call Shannon in a big city. And over and over and over again, I'd say, how did you hear about us? And they'd say, Christina from the Knot told us to call you, that she's using you and she loves you, and blah, blah, blah. So You have to figure out the influencers within your niche because they are a gold mine of referral traffic and sales. But you have to find influencers whose following is as close as possible to your target market. That is the more challenging part. But if you know that you are looking for your customers from 30 to 35 years old, middle income, things like that, middle class, and she shops at this store and whatever. If you know that there is another vendor or there's some, hot local blogger or, some women's club that they're a member that have that type of member in it, see if you can create a referral partnership with them. We'll talk a little bit more about those later. And use them as an influencer for your business. It's not the easiest thing, but just think about it. Like, see if you can make yourself a list. I challenge you to make yourself a list of 5 influencers in your world for your ideal client, like people who you know that they are potentially following and they're talking to. People trust what other customers say about your company more than what you say. So when you encourage customers to leave reviews after their purchase, you have to start looking at reviews like referrals, because earlier in the presentation, that 50% that we were talking about was, it's 50% of people are making decisions based upon some kind of referral. Well, reviews count as a piece and a part of that. So remember that getting those are just as important. I mean, if you could get video testimonials, that's the holy grail of the review. But yeah, it gives you definitely a really good option to start looking at things that way and in that manner. Okay, so now you know like why and some of the things you can do, but let's talk a little bit more on like how you should ask for the referrals, right? There's a lot of great ways to do it. So we're just going to run through these. I only made one slide for all of them to make it a little bit easier. You can directly ask. I mean, this seems like the most basic, right? Be direct and just ask your clients or customers through an email, through online, in person, at the bottom of your invoices, the bottom of your emails. It's not pushy or awkward if you've earned it. Like if you've gone above and beyond, you really should not have an issue with just asking, because you've earned the referral already. Focus on your best clients. Instead of targeting all of the clients or all of the customers that you have, focus on the ones that you already have a relationship with. These are the ones that they've already written you reviews. Those that offer similar products and services if it's a vendor partner, people in your community, but really find those people that they are your biggest cheerleaders. There's a DJ in town that every time somebody in any kind of Facebook group says, I'm looking for a venue, the first thing he does is push them towards weddingvenuemap.com. This is amazing for me, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Like, I always like to make sure that, it's important for them to know how much I appreciate it. And I would consider calling him, he is one of my best clients because he goes online and preaches about us all the time. He's an advertiser. I mean, he pays us, but he preaches about us all the time. So those are the kinds of people that you want to reach out to and say, hey, listen, they're more likely to refer your goods and services to others because they already trust you. They can already vouch for your work or your products. And they've had a chance to work with you side by side versus some clients that maybe you haven't worked with them that much, like maybe they've already booked you, but they haven't really worked with you, or it was a smaller project. You should provide value. One of those touch points that we kind of talked about is if constantly contacting the people that you do business with, you see an article online that they would like. I was doing a training yesterday and somebody was saying they were looking for backlinks, and I had just read an article of like all these places that you could create online listings that create backlinks. So I went and like Googled it and sent it over to them and said, here you go. This is what you were looking for. And by the way, can you write me a review for the training that we just did? So, but I provided a value first, not just ask for it. So if you read an article or you released a new product, or Kimmy, maybe you have a new band that you want to share and it complements, what some of your clients do and what some of your clients need, you know, but you're providing value, not just asking for it. Just make sure to send them the link, the attachment, you know, put it in there, but remember to ask for the referral, directly ask as a part of providing the value. Don't just give the value and not the ask. Recognize and thank them. Whether it's a phone call, an email, a handwritten note, a holiday card, you know, encourage your clients to refer others by showing you appreciate the chance to earn and keep their business. When they send a new client your way, thank them. Write a handwritten note whenever it's possible. When I worked at a venue, a lot of people, I didn't really hear from them all year, and then holiday time came around and, you know, they'd send some kind of really big basket or send some kind of thank you. But the most memorable for me was always the like individuals that, you know, there were a few that every single time we sent a referral and they booked, they sent a note. They would send an email saying, thank you so much for referring Susie, Q, and Mike. They're wonderful. But once they actually booked, sometimes they send us a little gift card. I have a serious Target problem. You should know that. No, just kidding. I love Target. I love going to Target. And there was one like company that did photo and video that we referred a lot. And every time they sent me a $20 gift card to Target. You know, it wasn't groundbreaking on their side, but they didn't really spend any marketing dollars to get that couple. I was just straight referring them in. So does the thank you always have to come with money attached or gifts and things like that? No, not at all. But you damn sure better find a way to thank them. The holiday gift is great. But one of the things that I don't love about it is if you're not doing it along the year, because it's very easy for people to forget about you. So saying thank you for a referral as quickly as possible. Like I said, even if it's an email, just saying, I really appreciate it. You know, I'm hoping they book. Whether they book or not, you should be saying thank you. So make sure that you're doing that. Make it personal when you're asking for the referral. Instead of sending like a copying and pasting the same email to all of your contacts, send like direct emails or phone calls and make it a personal message saying that you really, you know, you would love if they knew anybody who needs ... you know, and kind of share your services. But make it personal. You know, you really enjoyed working with them on their event and you're sharing that piece of it. But yeah, just make it personal instead of, I know when it's a copy paste being like, we're looking for more referrals to grow our business. Do you think you could help? And I'm like, oh, I'm over it, right? Like, it doesn't feel like how many people did you send this to? I'm just another number. Follow up and stay in touch. You know, you can schedule reminders on your calendar to email your clients, like current clients, 3, 6, 12 months, ask how they're doing, if you can assist them in any new way, and if they know of anyone who might be in the need of your services. This is kind of that newsletter I was talking about, but finding a way. There's a, I do some work with Oyster Bob's. He's got a nautical nonsense. It's an oyster catering company. They do like raw shucking of oysters and steamed oysters. And one of the things we talked about when we were brainstorming was that they, if they know that, you know, Bob had a 4th of July party this year, you know, shoot Bob an email in, you know, mid-May next year, early May, saying, hey, Bob, I just wanted to touch base and see if you're planning on having that 4th of July party next year. Here's a cool Pinterest board of ideas, or we saw this great recipe that we thought you might enjoy. Let us know if, you know, you're kind of touching base with them saying, I remember you had this. Are you having it again? So you can partake in it. And if you're not having a party, no problem, Bob. Do you know anybody else that might be planning a fun party for the summer that might want some oyster catering? But when you follow up and you keep staying in touch with people, you know, there is a lot of times in the wedding and event industry, people are like, oh, it's one and done. It's not one and done. People always know people getting married. I'm 38 years old, and I had 2 friends who got married this year. They're both younger than me. They were my interns once upon a time, but they were both looking for vendors, and they were looking, you know, once I kind of left the side where I was working with brides all the time, a lot of people made the assumption that from referring direct to client, I mean, obviously I can refer you to vendors and venues and things like that and do introductions for you, but they assumed the direct to client was gone, like, oh, well, who's she going to know? Well, I know a lot of people, and those people know a lot of people, so when my friends of friends get engaged, the first person they call is me because they know I know the industry. So the people who stay in touch and remind me what they're doing and stay front of mind, there aren't many vendors who do monthly newsletters. I've been networking for 11 years. Although I do have a new email address over the last 2 or 3 years, I still have some of the old ones, obviously not the ones at properties I worked at or for other companies. But if they really wanted to email me, they could find me, right? I'm friends with most of the people online. Most people are not doing any kind of email newsletter to follow up and stay in touch with people. So make sure that, if referral marketing is going to be part of your plan, that's something that you implement along the way. Let's see, offer incentives. So even though your work has to speak for itself, everybody enjoys a little gift, a gift card, percent off, charitable donations. We talked about this a little bit, but they're all powerful ways to build a greater bond with them by incentivizing people to refer people to you. So, there's different websites and things. I always follow big company marketing. I read a lot of magazines. Well, I don't read. I flip through and I look at the ads more than I do the articles, which is the worst. Oh, and I love recipes and I never cook, but I pull them out and try to convince my boyfriend to cook them for me. But anyways, circling back, I look at what these big companies that have huge marketing departments and they're spending millions of dollars a year because they've got a 2-page spread in Oprah every month. I look at what are their ads look like and what are they doing and what kind of incentives are they giving. There are humongous brands that have built on the back of referral marketing. Like they've literally built the whole business. Airbnb was this way. When you signed up for Airbnb early, there was all these incentives for you to refer it out to your friend and get your friends to join. So remember that it's a really valid way. Maybe it's a discount off, maybe it's a little freebie something, but if you can find an inexpensive way to incentivize people to bring in friends or to grow a group, it's nice, right? I mean, I like incentives. Give me a coupon and I'm probably going to spend it. Be really specific. Tell people what kind of referrals you're looking for. If you've jumped on since, make sure you throw in the chat box what it is you do for a living so I can use examples specific to you. So let's say Kimmy's got a new band and they are they're a Latin band. And so she's really focusing on going and booking them. Be specific. Tell people that you're looking to, you've got this great new hot Latin band and you're really looking to be able to find some new people who are interested in having a Latin band at their event. Get specific for what you want. If Kara said, I'd like to grow the family portrait side of my business, not just weddings, make sure you're telling people what it is you want and what it is you're looking for, not just what client, what services. Be clear and be specific when you're asking for the referral instead of just asking for the referral itself. Give to get. I mean, I literally built a career off the back of give to get. Karma is a great thing, but if you don't give anything, you're not going to get anything in return. Do you know anyone that could use the products or services of somebody you would ask for a referral? If so, refer them. Even if someone hasn't referred to you specifically, you can still recommend your clients all around. This is kind of that conversation of people tagging each other on Facebook. Last week, I was looking for a virtual admin. Funny enough, somebody tagged somebody that I forgot that she did this. I remember when I watched her launch her business, but I got about 10, 12 different companies got tagged. I kind of gave each one of them 48 hours to get in touch with me. If I went and scoped all their websites already, but I was waiting to see how aggressive are you as an admin, if you are trying to grow your business, or if you're not, who's going to reach out. Then those who reached out, I ended up doing interviews. I did those today and have really, I think, narrowed it down to the right person. Whether or not that is, we're still working through some of the details and things because I wasn't sure what I actually wanted, but she seems to understand. 100% of that was based off of someone tagging her. And I knew this person was a virtual admin. I just forgot she did it. And she has a background in the event industry, so it's even better, right? So I just, somebody else gave her to me, more or less. Somebody else said, oh, she does a great job. You should talk to her. And so through that becomes, great, this is how I'm going to make this happen and what we're going to do with it. So remember to give to get. You really have to focus on incorporating referrals into your overall marketing strategy. It can't just be every now and then. The best referral marketing programs share a common thread. They're embedded into every aspect of the user experience. There's calls to action on the top of the website, refer a friend, blah, blah, blah. Or it's in the newsletters and blogs. It's in the employee email signatures. There's a link to a page. And, it should get integrated with CRMs, marketing automation, point of sale systems. If you have like a shop where there's a printout of receipts, it should be on the invoices and receipts. Know somebody who needs what we do, please refer them over. So a great example of this is Dropbox. When Dropbox first came around, they were really kind of the first of its kind. Google Drive didn't exist. There wasn't really any other cloud-based saving of files. It was really like the first of its kind. But when it first started, they plateaued, and they were trying to figure out how do we get new users. So when you first signed up and it was free, it's still free when you first sign up, you only get 2 gigabytes of space, right? Which is not much. It goes fast, especially if you're in weddings and events and you're hoarding photos in there, and those photographers send those beautiful high-res images that are humongous. You lose 2 gigs, are gone in 2 seconds. Well, what they decided to do is to reach out to all the early adopters and offer them 1 gigabyte extra lifetime for referring friends who signed up and joined. Well, I mean, if you know me at all, you know I love a coupon, and you know I love to save money. So what did I do? I blasted it out because I was an early adopter and one of the first people in, joining and dumping some stuff in there. Couldn't really figure out how to use it all the time because the app on the phone wasn't so great, but you could pull it from your computer, in different places and log in from the web. But I went on and I blasted it out to a ton of people. Well, I have 20 gigabytes free on Dropbox because it was a lifetime offer. Because if you do it now and you help us grow while we're small, then you'll get this and get it for life. A great example of this, another example is a lot of our small business CRMs that are out there, Dubsado, Honeybook, things like that a lot of people in the wedding and event industry use. They had lifetime rates if you got in early. There's no more lifetime. You're buying either yearly or monthly. So remember that getting in on the front side, but these people have built these companies on the backs of only referral marketing. Dollar Shave Club was another great one. They made hysterical videos and got everybody to keep sharing them, and which got more and more people to sign up. So instead of asking for the referral, they created something kind of like what we talked about earlier. They made it easy to refer them because the marketing videos were so funny. So remember that it's got to be part of your bigger strategy, and you actually have to make an effort to do it. I know, on top of everything else you do. The give to get is super duper important. I really have built a career on that. I just like to hit it home one more time that you need to be focused on the sharing and the tagging and and doing referrals. I go and do venue tours, 10 to 15 venue tours a month. Every venue I go to, I say, are there any vendor categories that you need help with? Every single time I go, they say yes. And this is at the end of the meeting when I've already built trust and rapport. They know I'm there to help them. They know that I only really like working with the best of the best people. So if they say I'm looking for a cake person, or, we don't really have someone, or, somebody like Whitney who does rental golf carts, if it's the kind of venue that I'm like, oh my God, you need this. I try to make sure I make that connection. Obviously, I start with people who choose to advertise on Wedding Venue Map because my job is always to promote advertisers. But yeah, there's sometimes that I give referrals for companies that they don't advertise yet because I know it's a good fit for that particular venue. I still give. You know what? It's someday if they get the lead out of it and that venue contacts them and they are doing the right thing and asking, checking their analytics, how did you hear about me? And they say, Shannon from Wedding Venue Map. I hope they'll consider advertising and signing up and becoming part of our happy little family. But it's okay if they don't. I still give. I believe in the karma of referrals, and that when you give them, I'm really careful with my referral. I don't refer people that if I don't know if they do a good job. Great example, there's a local marketing company that a friend of mine who I trust really well says did a really great job. I had never worked with them. Someone else asked me if I knew them, and I said, I don't know them. I've never worked with them, but I know someone else who I trust who likes them, but please don't put my stamp of approval on them because I don't know. They did really great on one project, not so great on another. You know, when the person told me I was disappointed and they said, we don't blame you, you were really clear and honest, because, you know, I don't ever want to put my name on something that I don't know does a good job, not just I know them and things like that. So make sure when you give referrals, you really value what and who and how you're referring, because you want to build the kind of reputation that people call you and ask you who to find when they're looking for someone. So part of that give to get, a lot of, you know, my world and the leaps and bounds I've been able to take in the last 13, 14 years in my industry is through strategic partnerships. When two companies can come together and create a synergy that increases both companies' profit potential, everybody wins. So, you know, sometimes from a referral standpoint, I was doing a lot of the referring, not really getting much back in return, especially when I worked at a venue. But the people that we would, the strategic partnerships were always the people who said, what do you need help with? What can I do? You know, and we created a partnership where we really helped each other and we really grew together. So that's kind of, from a referral standpoint, is a really important piece of the puzzle. You know, at the end of the day, there's a great quote that I like from Mark Zuckerberg and talking about referrals. People influence people. Nothing influences people more than a recommendation from a trusted source. The trusted referral is the holy grail of all advertising because it is the least expensive way to get new users and new customers. This is how Facebook grew their entire "this person invited a friend." I mean, it's still now, I don't know if you get, sometimes on LinkedIn, I get invited to join LinkedIn from other people that I'm like, I have an account. You just use the wrong email address to try to find me. So, you know that like that trusted referral, it literally is the holy grail of advertising. It's a great way for you to grow your business in 2019 or any time that really focuses a lot more on, you know, it being an easy close. When you're a salesperson, you know, referrals are the easiest close to make because they walk in with a percentage of trust already established based upon the referral. So think about it from that perspective alone, that if you can take your business and up your referrals 10%, well, my close rate on a referral was like 80% instead of my regular like 55. So if I can grow 10% of my business with referrals at an 80% close rate, I win, right? We all make more money. So make sure that as you're making your plan and setting your goals for the upcoming year, you really take a look at including some kind of, take one piece out of this, of something you're going to do, whether it means you put it in your email signature, whether, you know, you think you make a list of your top 5 besties of customers that you've had, and reach out and ask, or tell yourself you're going to ask 3 people a month to say, hey, do you have anyone that you know fits, you know, could be looking for what we're, and I would expect you all to email me and say, hey, listen, I've got this new product or service. Do you know anyone? If I know someone, but it also keeps you front of mind in my book. So, so make sure that you are taking some of the things you learned today and creating actionable content from it and things that you can go and do. I do have a newsletter that goes out. This is the address to sign up for it. If you missed any part of this webinar, it will go up on weddingvenuemap.com in the soon future. Within the next few days, I'll get it up there. But if you sign up for the newsletter, you can learn about upcoming webinars, updates for things, collaboration opportunities, advertising options, all different kinds of things coming up in the upcoming future. If you have any questions at this point, don't hesitate to jump in the group chat and share them. I try to be really respectful of your time and know that it's a lot of time to give, even if you were just listening to me in the background while you were doing other things, and hope that you got something great out of it. I'll shoot out an email asking you to write a quick review. Let me know what you learned so that we can share it around. And if you don't have any questions, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.